work-life balance during the quarantine. Is that even possible? Well, it wasn't possible for me before, and I was developing all these pimples on my head. But then a few weeks later, I figured it all out, and I now have the work-life balance during this quarantine, and I want to share that with you. Hey guys, it's Linh Podetti here, and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I'm here to help you achieve time and financial freedom, because once upon a time I didn't have any of that, and now that I have, I want to share it with you. Now, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button so that you get notification for when my videos are up every single week. Now, this is a new setup I have here because I was sick and tired of trying to find a spot in my house to do the video. And so I'm like, okay, I bought this backdrop for my acting career. So I'm like, let's just use this. So it's just plain and simple. All I have to worry about is changing my top, and I'll just talk in front of this thing. So let me know what you think about this backdrop, because I just feel like it's clean and minimal. And I learned a little tip from one of my acting friends is to film from my phone, but then not doing a selfie way, doing the other way. And I think the quality of the camera is already a little better. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about my camera quality. I'm here to talk about how to have work-life balance during this quarantine. Okay, so during the lockdown, my business really got affected. Well, not really, but I mean, was affected. And because it was this unknown time, me and my team, we started rushing around and really just working hard, trying to figure out a way to pivot the business so that we don't go under, right? It was kind of uncertainty, so it made us really rush. But at the same time, I was not used to having my kids 24/7. So every single day they were both with me, and every day was so different. You know, one day they're good, not one day, sorry, one moment they're good, next minute they're not. And I seriously was just so overwhelmed that I even developed pimples on my head. Okay. However, throughout those time, I still managed to kind of have a balanced life. Stress level was higher, but I was balanced. Why am I meaning balance? Balance is that I always knew what my ideal day looked like. And so I've always had a plan on how I'm going to schedule all the important things in my ideal day so that I feel balanced. And what are those things? In my ideal day, I always make sure that I have time for meditation. I have time for exercise. I have time for family. I have time for work. I have time for whatever. And so even though we were on quarantine, I didn't go and blow out and eat and get all fat and not exercise or feel miserable. I still was able to balance everything that was important in my life. Now, doing too much work, having too much time with the family can still overwhelm you. But in this video, I'm trying to show to you that you could still balance and have all the aspects that make you wholesome. To make you wholesome is not all about work. It's not all about family. It's about your own time. It's about fitness, health, and etc. So step one is, what's your ideal day? What does balance look like, right? Like, it's not really about, okay, I want to be healthy one day. It's how do you actually be healthy and happy every day for the rest of your life. So that means you need to design your day. So number one is, I want you to take out a piece of paper and pen after this video to design what your ideal day look like. Maybe not put the time in yet, but just write in, 30 minutes of exercise, 30 minutes of alone time, how long you want to spend with your family and your work and etc. And have that designed, and then I'll share with you how we can actually figure out how to fit it all in. So now that you have your ideal day, you will now need to figure out how you're going to find those time. So the ideal day might have a bunch of lists of things, right? Like for me, I have journaling, I have meditation, I have a bit of learning, I have exercise, etc. Now, I look at areas where I can actually have things overlap. So the one important thing for me is learning. Like, I feel like if I'm not learning something new, I feel like I'm not growing, that I'm just working or living in my day versus kind of like coming up with new ideas of how I can improve my life. And so learning is very important. And so I figure out that when I'm exercising, I'm going to put on a podcast, or I'm going to put on some sort of training video. And so then you basically don't need to go and, I basically save time, because while I'm exercising, I am doing some learning. And at the end of the night as well, instead of watching Netflix or watching movies, I only save that for the weekend. I also spend that time doing some learning, because learning becomes so fun that it is entertainment for me. And so the first step is, where can you have things overlap? So if watching something, if exercise is important but you haven't got any time, what if you could do some exercise while you're watching something, right? So let's start to get creative and look at your list of things and see how can you do two things at the same time as the first step. Now, the second step is now finding more time. So because I have such a long list of things to do, I wake up really early. I wake up 4 a.m. Now, if you're not used to waking up at 4 a.m., you could start to develop the habit. I'm not saying tomorrow just start waking up at 4 a.m. Let's just start adding an hour or 2 hours into your day. If you normally wake up at 8, why don't you wake up at 6? Start to do that. And I will do a video again on how to wake up early, because I had to go through a process to actually get myself awake early, and I still do that now. And that quick tip for you is that I actually put my phone alarm in another room. Ideally put it in your bathroom, because then when it rings loud, the alarm, you run quickly because you don't want to wake up your family. You run there, you turn it off, and you're already awake, and you're committed to staying awake because it's easier, you're already awake. But if you have your phone next to you, you won't be able to stay awake. So the next thing you do is really design your time. Like, in order to have balance in your day with a bit of time of this, a bit of that, like I said, you need to find time for it. And so that means now figure out how many more hours you need, and then do what you need to do, whether it's waking up earlier or staying up later. For me, I don't really function at all at night. It's like I feel like my full energy is this high in the morning, and it starts to deplete, and by the end of it, my mind just cannot be bothered thinking or doing anything. So I find that waking up earlier is just much easier, because I'm just full of energy. Everything important that I want to do, I do it really early. By the end of it, I can just kind of procrastinate and slack off, and it doesn't matter because it's all low value work at the end of the day. So that is what you need to do, finding more time. The next thing you need to do is you need to really understand what changes you need to make. So for example, if you're feeling stressed every day, it's just like crazy because you're full-time mom, full-time this, full-time whatever, you need to start to look, okay, what can I do to change something? So for me, I realized, hang on a minute, it's impossible for me to be actually working full-time, dedicated completely to the business and be there for my kids, because it's just going to drain my energy and stress. So what changes can I make? So I started to introduce working less days, which I can because I've built a team. So that's the thing about being an entrepreneur. The best thing about entrepreneur is being able to leverage your time and have a team of people working for you, so that you can have that flexibility to change your days to less days. And so, if you're working in a job, it's really about deciding on your happiness. It's like, do you need to work less days for a temporary period of time? Do you need to change your new job that is going to cater to that? But overall, you need to really think about how to adjust your lifestyle to make sure that it feels balanced. So during the quarantine, I knew that I can't do full-time in both ends. So I decided to work a bit less and do more of the kids. And slowly, as life changes, I'll be able to change that. So what things can you change and control? Who can mind your kids? What can you do to make your situation different? Because if everything's the same, you can't expect to feel different. So if you want to change something, you have to change your circumstance so that the different result will come. So you're going to feel more balanced and happier. Now, my final tip for you is prioritize and schedule. So we have all these things on our ideal day, and we know that we want to do this without actually writing a clear rule, like, this is the time I'm going to do this, this day I'm going to do this, and then scheduling it in like your Google Calendar with a time specific thing. You're not going to be able to execute on your ideas or on your ideal day. So it's really important to be precise. If you have to be like specifically, I almost put as if like 7 o'clock, making food for the kids. At 8 o'clock, I am going to start doing this work. 4 a.m. 4 to 4:30, I'm doing journaling and meditation. So I'm putting it all into a calendar. It's not kind of like, I should remember to do this. It is like a meeting, a plan. Any of these things you want to do for yourself in order to make yourself feel balanced are all important meetings that you need to promise yourself. You're scheduling it for yourself to do for yourself. And so I encourage you to treat it like a serious business. If you care about your happiness and health, you take yourself serious, and anything that you want to do in your day, you put the slot in. Now, I'm talking as if you're all entrepreneurs running a business like me, and you can just easily change things. If you're not in my shoe, I want you to start thinking about your future. You know, I was in your shoe once when I didn't have the flexibility. I was working 9 to 5 for a company, and it was just, you know, strict. You know, between this time and that time, I was just locked up in this place, and I just hated it, and I knew I didn't have the flexibility. So I started to learn how to work online, and I started to pursue my business. Sure, it was hard, but I decided to do something because it's not the life that I want. I do not want a life where I am stuck in a job that is inflexible, that I can't grow, that I can't change my life. Work needs to adapt to my life, not my life adapt to work. And so I made a decision to do something about it. So I want this video for you, even if you can't change your life right now in terms of your work-life balance because you're stuck in a job, but now start thinking. This video is to help you to take one step, even if it's a small step, whether it's a big step, it doesn't matter. It's just taking some action so that you will eventually get to a life where you have control over your time and your life so that it's balanced. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button. But yeah, curious to know, what has been the biggest challenge for you during this quarantine as a mother or as an entrepreneur? Love to hear in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to do what you love.